it was this commitment that you can see as what I've mentioned. I mean, even today, those recent naturalized players, every single player gave his all for the flag, for the crowd, for Shin Tae-yong, for every football fan in Indonesia. This is the biggest result, the biggest win Indonesia has in modern Asian football history. Significant that now, take away the runaway leaders of Group C Japan, there is everything to play for. Well, you won't believe this. Indonesia 2, Saudi Arabia 0. Fantastic all-round performance from the Garudas. Execution perfect from start to finish. No quarters given. Everybody gave everything on the pitch, including Justin Hubner, who got 2 yellow cards and got sent off late in the game. And special mention to Marselino Ferdinan, who was supreme from start to to finish when he was later substituted midway in the second half. 2 goals, well taken, simply awesome. And they got Gelora Bung Karno rocking again at the final whistle. And also special mention to the referee, Alisher Usmanov. No, not the one who, not the former Everton part owner of the same name, but this Uzbekistani referee on the pitch. He was fair, he was impartial, he was decisive. He refused to be taken in by the Saudis' antics, their theatrics, especially when he kept rolling down the ground. You wonder if the Saudi Arabian team was so infested with the Neymar like rolling on the ground that they started to enjoy touching the ground, putting their bodies down on the ground at Gelora Bung Karno more than playing football, to the point that even Hervé Renard, who is now in his second stint with the Green Falcons, he has a lot to think about, plenty to think about, because right now Saudi have not been scoring for some time in this at the final Asian qualifying for a few games already, and it's four games in a row. But still, it's a historic first win for Indonesia against Saudi Arabia, and in the first rematch since the 2007 Asian Cup held at the same ground, in that Group C encounter where Saudi Arabia back then netted the last minute winner to deny Indonesia a point. Justice was served in a way 17 years later. And how to put it? Marselino Ferdinan, what a beauty, what a gem. Malaysia has Arif Aiman, but I think at this moment, at this stage, Marselino, the European-based local born player in the squad, 20 years old, and he has already done so much in his career. Already has, after this game, 32 international A caps for the team, and now with his brace, 5 goals. And you can see what European football education can bring to the player once when it's developed and done correctly. The Oxford United attacking midfielder, he was supreme from start to finish. Already in the first few minutes of the game, he gave an indication of what was to come. Selected in place of Jakob Sayuri and playing on the left side of attacking midfield, he was imperious, taking on Saudis with supreme confidence and was unafraid to take shots. The first few shots in the opening 15 minutes that he took, they were a bit off target, but it was a sign of things to come. Clearly, the Indonesian intend to go for the kill from the first whistle. It left the Saudis quite rattled. It's like for that first 15 minutes, it simply set the tone. The Saudis were suddenly left confused at how aggressive the Indonesian teams are. This Indonesian team was. The Garudas, they were just pressing, they were pushing forward, and they made the Saudi defense feel extremely uncomfortable. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, Alisher Usmanov, the Uzbek referee, he played a major part in this game. He refused to be given in by the typical, you can say, the Middle East style of play acting or going down within the slightest touch. You wonder if the Saudis have already gotten this disease so much. I mean, when your big stars like Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, and others who have mastered these dark arts, and they were there to lift the standards of the game, and all the Saudis did learn instead was the so-called dark arts that they pulled off quite amateurishly. It helped that Alisher Usmanov refused to be given in. He did look at the VAR on the 24th minute, and he decided that Hubner's all-in challenge, where he got the ball first before the leg that got him the ball, that trailing leg also hit the head of the Saudi player, the Saudi number 9, if I'm right, number 19. It was this commitment that you can see as what I've mentioned. I mean, even today, those recent naturalized players, every single player gave his all. For the flag, for the crowd, for Shin Tae-yong, for every football fan in Indonesia. This is the biggest result, the biggest win Indonesia has in modern Asian football history. Significant that now, take away the runaway leaders of Group C, Japan, there is everything to play for, including crucial encounters against crucial home games against Bahrain and China in March and June next year, and also again in the return leg against Australia. There's plenty to play for. All is not lost. They could even stick in the place in North America 2026 if they continue to keep up this momentum of results. Then the first goal, simply well taken. It was a 1-2 actually between Marselino and the lone striker for the day, Ragnar Orasmangan. They combined well in the 1-2 that gave Marselino, he was given quite a bit of time. The composure this Oxford United midfielder had was simply incredible. You can say that in the past, maybe Southeast Asian players, sometimes if they got this chance, they will either take it very well or they could scoff it. But in the face of more Saudi bodies swarming towards him and anticipating his next move, the ability to find that sweet spot to score was the result of that football education that he has currently in England and previously in Belgium with, with KMSK Dennis. Yeah. It's this football education that allows him to stay composed, keep himself on the feet in spite of challenges, and also to be able to dictate the play when the players go forward. In fact, quite a number of attacking plays that Indonesia had, the substantial majority involved around Marselino. And then in additional time in the first half, once again, you can see VAR and the referee came to the rescue. But what were the Saudis doing, trying to go down by the slightest touch, trying to roll down on the slightest rim, or trying to do every theatric? It's like they are supposed to learn from the best of football education, of abilities or mentality from the superstars that have come to the Saudi Pro League. But instead, what we saw in Gelora Bung Karno from the Saudis was play acting, you can say after they fell behind, there was some disinterest, and it's like they were still trying for more theatrics as they got more desperate towards the end of the match. And fortunately for that one, again, a touch, maybe a innocuous touch, and this Saudi player went down inside the box. But fortunately, once again, the referee didn't even need VAR. He just saw that it was some play acting, and he got it spot on. I can't fault the referee Usmanov even for the red card for Justin Hubner after the second yellow in that flashpoint late in the game. But in the overall grand scheme of things, this is secondary. And now fast forward to the second goal. I mean, even beforehand, Saudi after the break, they tried to exert some authority, but eventually, once again, the desire of the Garudas really got the better of the Saudis. And even before the second goal, again, Oratz Manggon, he actually had a header that actually that was saved before it was called for offside or foul. But already, with that move involving Sandy Walsh and him, it was the intent that the Indonesians are not going to let go of the advantage they earned. They are also not going to let go of the momentum. And what we saw was, I mean, you can say, pretty cheeky of Marcelino, but he knew what he was doing. He knew that the block led to a loose ball for him to charge further inside the box, and to wait for the Saudi goalkeeper to rush out and for him to just a little chip. It's just a little chip into the back of the net. And there you go. Gelora Bung Karno in raptures, in ecstasy. And for the rest of the game, actually, for much of it, it's actually quite secondary. Because Saudi got more desperate. They threw it at 4 strikers. At one point, there are 4 strikers up front. And they will try every little trick in the book to try to see if they could force a consolation goal or to force a nervy ending to the game. Yes, there were plenty of nerves as we headed towards injury time. There was that flashpoint where you can say one foul from Eva Jenner led to a second yellow following another incident following quick free kick. But the referee quickly got the situation under control. Kudos to him for that. It's not easy for any referee to be able to say, I give this player a yellow card, I also give this player from the other team, another player from the opposing side, a yellow card as well. I mean, being cool, being able to make good decision making in the face of intense pressure. Alisher Usmanov, the referee, has to be commended. And this brings a very happy ending for Indonesian football for 2024. Yes, there is still the ASEAN Mitsubishi Cup that will start next month, but for Garuda's coach Shin Tae-yong, he has already indicated that he'll be putting the under 22 or probably some of the locally based players to compete in the tournament. His priority is to get Indonesia into the USA, Mexico, and Canada 2026. And right now, with the group so delicately balanced, take away Japan, it's so delicately balanced that you just need one result in their favor, another result that a few more points they earn, and they could be on their way to at least the playoffs or even better. A shock second place to qualify for the finals since 1938. I mean, looking at the quality of the players that Indonesia have, including the recently naturalized players, including the heart and the guts and the technique of the local players, and also the tactical nous, whose presence, whose results has commanded the confidence of the entire dressing room, I don't see why not. As for Saudi, I think Hervé Renard has a very tough job ahead in his second reign. It seems like these Saudi players have gone back to their old ways that was lost. I think, or they were still very listless after. I think towards the end of the Mancini reign and all that. But still, where Indonesia is concerned, well done to them. It's only the second ever Southeast Asian victory at home in the history of the World Cup Asian qualifiers since they first began, especially in the final round. Vietnam were the first in the previous edition. Now it's Indonesia, and already with 6 points, they have already exceeded what Vietnam and Thailand had done previously in this century, and they could be on course to, you can say, overtake Vietnam's and Thailand's combined points tally from previous final round qualifying campaigns. It's going to be quite pretty intense and exciting for Group C. Who knows what's going to happen next? And we do look forward to what the Garudas can offer when the final round of Asian World Cup qualifying resumes in March next year. Till then, signing out.